Pre-show currently. And that's why you
And
banned
that's how
off
we
FIFA.
start.
And that's
That's
why
how
you
we
banned off
start.
FIFA. Yeah, your missus banned you off FIFA. Yeah.
He's got videos by a greenhouse with Buddha. I thought he was around Nana's house doing that one.
Well, you're talking to a champion now, mate.
Oh, here we go, people. You were here last week. He said second the league. We won't win it with Arteta. We need Fabregas.
What did Ken Dog say, though?
A week later, it's
What did Ken Dog say, though? What did Ken Dog say?
Yeah, I know. Where is he? Where is he?
Where is he? All swearing, saying, get the effing link. Look at him. Where is he now?
I know. Where's Marvin? Is Marvin going to give us an appearance?
Marvin's scared. Marvin's
Does he
scared
still come? Does he have brunch with you on Sundays?
No, not until the season starts.
So what's he doing now? He's doing dilly parties.
You know, yeah.
Well, look, come on, look, we're here. Look, we've had our little bit of this is our stick to football's part where we start with chatting shit. But let's get into this. Since the last time we conveyed here, the two of us last Monday night, heat wave, absolutely heat wave. Arsenal have talked about Manueke. Is it Manueke? How do you say it? Noni. Eze. Zubamendi deal done. Gyökeres
done.
Kepa in goal. He can take a penalty.
What did Marvin Ken Dog say about Arsenal's transfers the other day?
Hold on, you're not even said hello to me. It's not even 8 o'clock. You're not even welcome.
Lee. What did he say? Lee, what did he say?
Chatting like
he said,
not even
what day?
The other day when him and Marv posted about Arsenal's transfers, it was like underwhelming or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you said, "How can it be?"
I've not seen the bits.
You was there. You was in the group commenting. You said, "How can it be?"
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think I was talking as much about it, but I do know there is no way that Arsenal's transfer, if this all comes in, Eze, Noni, Gyökeres, Zubamendi, Kepa. I mean, Chris.
Nodegaard. Don't forget Nodegaard.
Who's Nodegaard?
Don't forget Mascara.
Cool. Lee, what are you on about?
So what I'm saying is,
Kepa. Why are you adding Kepa to that list?
Because he's joined Arsenal, the goalkeeper.
Oh, yeah, but you're building it up you're making it bigger than it is by mentioning Kepa. He's a $5 million backup goalkeeper, bro.
He's the most expensive goalkeeper ever bought.
Thanks, Lee.
Not this time round, he ain't.
No, he ain't. No. My point is,
Lee, who's the most expensive goalkeeper in the world ever?
Kepa. But my point is now in two ways. One, nobody can knock Arsenal's transfer dealings at all. Yeah. Unbelievable window. And two, no Arsenal.
They ain't got any over the line yet. What are you talking about? How is this how you're starting this pod?
Well, because this is what I thought we was going to talk about, but I'm going to take it over to you now with the stats. But also, no Arsenal fan, if all these deals happen, can rest on their laurels and say, "Oh no, listen, when we sold Bell, we got all those players. I said we're going to win the league. So if I said that in 2012, fucking come ninth. I don't know, fifth or something. I don't know.
What you said? What you say about our transfers, Lee? What you liking it? Yeah.
First class. Yeah. I've said it. I said in January. He ain't gone out to go silly to buy a forward in January if it weren't right for him. Now he's doing it now.
But you said Ollie Watkins was right.
Yeah, he was right. I still think he's right. But what I'm saying is he couldn't get him in January the way he wanted. But that's that. That's what could happen. We've mentioned those names. Tom, I've seen today back and forth in the group. You've talked about Gyökeres. You've talked about his adjustment from Coventry and 22 goals to 50 plus in Lisbon. What are your thoughts on
Lee? What about that team? What about that team above me, Lee? What about that team there?
Yeah, he did say that Man United team was top four for sure in the cup.
And who's in it? Who's in the team? Who's at the top front?
First of all, it's nice to be with you boys. Thanks for the warm welcome to the pod.
Yes. Hello, Daddy Kendall. Congrats, mate.
Daddy Kendall, three-time champion.
Is this the first time?
My squad. You're my squad, boys. It's so nice to be together.
Is this the first time since you became a daddy again?
Yeah, sure.
Ah, congrats, man.
Yeah.
Congrats.
We're going to do the old celebration.
Well, mate, I thought you was going to have an early night after your message because you've definitely sold yourself short.
Sorry, Lee.
He lost Marv. When you lose Marv, that was it for him.
Let's get back to the topics.
So what's your thoughts?
Who they got over the line? Which when you say they've had a really good window, what ones are over the line?
Bro, they're very they're seriously close. All these, they're a matter of just getting the small print done.
Okay, so which ones are over the line though? Norgard?
There's Norgard over the line. Chris will tell you.
No, he's not. No, but you're the one making these grandiose statements. He's not over the line.
Well, because it's the biggest part of our transfer, like in our pre-season.
You're just setting the pod up nicely, and I like it. It's good. Listen, we're going to talk about Gyökeres, aren't we, more than anything today, because that has been the point of contention. Arsenal, Zubimendi, very good. Well done. Gyökeres. Let me be like Eminem and 8 Mile here and just get the stuff out there that Chris is going to say quickly. That's the team that I put forward that I thought would be the starting team for Man United coming into the season. When you can see Mbemo, you can see Cunha, and you can see Gyökeres.
Yeah.
I think I stuck Martinez in goal as well.
Right.
And don't forget, you said top 4 for sure, and a cup.
With that team,
with the Glock up front.
With 4 additions, he's one of 4. So the first thing I want to say, and this is maybe a bit self-deprecating, is are we honestly holding Arsenal to the same standard as Man United in terms of who you're bringing in? Like you've been second 3 years in a row. You need to be putting together a title-winning team. We're just trying to build something. So if we have Gyökeres in the team, Chris, you've said it, man. Portuguese league. He played for Coventry and he was getting a goal every other game. He's been surpassed by many players in the Championship. He's gone to Portugal and he's tearing it up. But so did Darwin Núñez. So I know that there's a little part of you that thinks there's no guarantee about this. True? You know that, right?
There's no guarantee with anyone, Ken Dog.
Yeah, but like the Portuguese league, we can't be talking.
I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that because people said the same thing about other leagues because this is how we are in England. You know, we poo-poo every other league. We have Dutch strikers that have come over with great records and they've ended up flopping. And we've had other strikers with great records, like a Ruud van Nistelrooy, and they've teared it up. So
what gives you confidence in Gyökeres? Because he didn't do it in the Championship.
He scored 22 goals as a 24-year-old, 23-year-old at Coventry who was shy.
In Coventry, 24, like he's not young.
Not bad.
Champions League.
So again, he
scored 6 in 8 Champions League games.
You know what else he did in the Champions League, by the way? I'm just going to give you some, a bit of context there, because I've got stats too. We've all got stats, Ken Dog. I mean, in the Champions League, he got one of the most goals and assists, Ken Dog. So we're doing GA now, yeah?
He got a hat-trick against City.
Listen, against who, Lee?
Manchester City.
Yeah, thank you. He got as many goals. He got as many goals and assists. He got as many goals and assists as Ricks, who cost Liverpool 150 million, and as many as Mo Salah, who was their star boy. I mean, this is just context. And a bit more for you, Ken Dog. He was expected to get 5.6 GA. He ended up with 7.
Yeah, but you were expecting a Premier League title in the last 3 years. You didn't win any of them.
And we came close. You know why we didn't win them? You know why we didn't win them? Because we didn't have the Glock. Now we've got the Glock. Okay. You know, the reason why you're doing this copium is because you're scared. You're scared.
3 weeks ago, I said, I'm not sure about Jock.
I know you did. I know what he was doing. And I started that. You know why I started? Because it was politics. I knew exactly what he was doing.
No.
You look at you, that's why you're smiling now, you little weasel.
No,
you wasn't sure. I sat there and I smiled. I said, he ain't sure because he doesn't know if Gyökeres is coming because he might be.
No, it's because I've been burned. I've been burned by Anthony.
He wasn't sure. And that's why he said, that's why he come with that little caveat and said,
that would have been smart.
I'm not sure.
I'm not smart enough.
I said, yes, you are. Yeah, you came from the same school I come from, and you come from the same area I come from. I know what's in your blood. Shut up, you slag. I know exactly what you was doing.
But Chris, look, we bought
that gives you a little window and a little loophole just to knock your head down and say, I did say I wasn't sure.
Was you linked with him at that point when I said that?
Yes, he was. And you was getting gassed because you thought you hijacked him, you slag.
So, I mean, the way that we look is now obviously it is looking like it's a very strong.
Imagine Martinelli, Grokeres, and Saka, and then if we want, we can bring in Noni, and then we can do it. Martinelli and the Glock. What, running down at 100 miles per hour against any defense?
Martinelli's just fast.
But Chris, what you then? How come you've now gone from?
Shut up, Lee, about how come. Use your brain. Look at these transfers. Look at these transfers. No, because Lee, I've been here before, Lee. I've seen it before with Arsenal.
Tell him, Lee.
I've seen it before,
bro. How comes all of a sudden
last season? I told you last season.
You know what I mean? How all of a sudden?
Who cares? Who cares? You can beat me with that stick. I want that.
He wanted to out. He wanted Arteta out like a month ago, and now he's like, "We're going to win the."
It's not. I'm not even talking to Tom now. Thank you very much. Yeah. Everyone sticks like she says, no. She said, have some respect for Lee. And she found out it was Tom. She said, yeah.
That's very nice.
For some reason, Lee's always got the old birds.
But then then last week's pod, Tom, I was very praising of United and the business.
Why?
I did like when they're talking, because they were saying Mbuemo looks like he's coming, Cunha looks like he's coming, and then there was a striker as well. What was we talking about last week? Was it Gyökeres? No, it wouldn't have been Gyökeres because it was already going to be Arsenal. Was it?
That was already off the card.
It was Gyökeres.
You might have been behind in the news, though.
But who's else have you been looking for? Because you got Cunha. Man United went back to training. Calvert-Lewin today. Hey, listen, if he stays fit,
that's a great acquisition.
I would take him on a free.
You know what someone said today. You know what someone said today on the IG that Calvert-Lewin makes Mount and Luke Shaw look fit.
Trust me.
Well, yeah, but we're getting him for free.
Lee, stop saying trust me. He's always injured. Caitlin, everyone knows, please.
I'd bring him on a contract where he gets paid for how much he plays.
Thanks.
Exactly. I think that's a great shout. That's a great shout.
But Cunha is proven in the Premier League.
We're talking about Man United.
And we're talking
about Man United. And 5 minutes ago, Ken Dog's talking about how elite Man United are and obviously and now they're buying. Now you're talking about getting Calvert-Lewin on a free. From Gyökeres to Calvert-Lewin.
No, I won't be.
You know that's smacks of. That smacks of. You're getting rid of all these staff members. You're cutting costs everywhere. You're terminating contracts. You're telling Rashford, Garnacho, Maino, these men can all go. Anthony, and now you're buying players on a free. You got no money, bro.
More than you.
You got no money.
We spent more than you.
No, not this year. You got no money, bro.
How much have you spent?
No money.
How much have you spent?
No money.
Bring the numbers. How much have you spent? Anyway, Lee, Mbuemo, Cunha will be decent with Fernandez behind them. If we can get a decent striker, we are.
What about Rasmus?
He shouldn't. We've covered this old ground.
He don't want to leave.
To be our main striker. He shouldn't be. He should be. He should be next season what he should have been before, which is brought as a backup striker. Gradually,
what's Xerxes then?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't like him much, but I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about him, and there's a lot of people saying they think with him and Mbuemo and Cunha, those three would be decent up top, and I can't disagree.
Is that decent? We keep on using this word decent for Man United. And Man United really talking about decent.
Well, I think that gets us into the top. I think that team there with a decent striker instead of Gyökeres gets us into the top 4.
So 6:15 p.m. today, and this is who we did talk about, Chris. It was Ollie Watkins. United have made contact reportedly with Aston Villa. Ollie Watkins and his team about a potential move alongside Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Now, if they get that group, again, that's exciting.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Exciting.
And Mbuemo looks like man. Like look, if you've got to overhaul your team and you need goals, overhaul it.
United, we're talking about these men being exciting.
Both your teams are doing it. United, in Mbuemo, if they get that.
Who's Sami Zayn?
Yeah, I've just seen him. They're going to see.
Who is it?
I was just looking.
He looks more like Tom than me.
It looks like Tom. Oh, they said Lee.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like Tom. I love Sami Zayn, mate. I love Sami Zayn.
That's me.
What do you mean you love him? Who is he, Lee?
He's WWE wrestler.
Now he's got passion. Now we're talking wrestling.
Yeah, now.
Hey, what about you lot? What's going on? What's going on? Are you signing anyone?
I'm asking about you lot.
He just thought, like Chris, everyone's window's phenomenal because he's looking at Spurs'. Everyone's had a phenomenal window because Spurs
we win Europa League.
You know they said
we sacked the manager. We've got to sell our top defender. We've signed a Japanese centre half for $5 million. They
offer for Kundas. They offered Kundas. He's got 80 million clause. Yeah, these animals said we'll give you 50, but we'll add on 5 and 10 mil here if we win the league and Champions League. How much is that?
At the end of the day,
Sullivan had to come back. One of the man had to come back and say, "Nah, f off, taking a piss."
You praise Daniel Levy.
Yeah, I know, but you can't put that in your clause. You can't. Come on, man. That's a mad thing.
I mean, Chris, I'd laugh if Arsenal tried that clause to be honest.
No, we can do that, Kendo.
If they want to send, if they sold it for £1 more, as far as.
Okay, who's
had the best window so far in terms of over the line?
Liverpool.
You say Liverpool?
Why Liverpool? Why Liverpool?
When they've done the business straight away.
No, City's done the business. City's had the best one. It's not those two. Let's think logical, because Liverpool got rid of 2 players in Robinson and Trent.
They ain't sold him yet.
He's gone, bruv. He's gone.
All right, then they replaced him straight away. So fantastic.
So how's that a good win then when they've just done like for like? They need to strengthen, not go like for like.
Well, then they also brought in a really strong creative midfield player who everybody was after, weren't they?
No one was after.
Strengthening is also when you've got like an aging player though, and you sell him and bring youth in. That's also part of the process, isn't it? They've done well with
Chelsea. What about Chelsea? What about their window?
What have they done? Theirs looks doo-doo, man. I'm going with Man City, but hands down, Man City have smashed it.
Yeah, I'm just putting.
I don't know all those players well enough, other than Sharp.
No one knows.
Chelsea fans haven't seen enough of the other ones yet. So
I just know that Ken has been in rehab. He has been in rehab.
I'm back, boys. I'm back and I'm feeling fresh.
They're saying you look rejuvenated for the coming season, Ken Dog. He'll be gone by September. He'll be gone by September with Man United the 15th.
Don't be like
so, Tom, realistically, what?
Look, he'll be back on Spice by September. There you go.
What should you be expecting this year if you get those kind of players, and if it was to stay as it was now? If it stays as it was now, what would you expect?
If we don't get a striker,
yeah. If it stays as it is,
look at Charlie Boyce in the back, Ken Dog, Man City. When Shaheen talks, he must be smoking something. Facts.
I think there's a problem if we only buy Cunha, we don't get rid of any of the players we talked about getting rid of.
But how can you get rid of them?
When Modil doesn't get over the line, if we don't replace Onana, we won't get top 4.
What, you need to replace Onana?
Oh, for sure.
With who?
I would take Martinez. I would take any substandard, decent goalie that's fairly reliable. Anyone. I would take. Who's the old Arsenal goalie at Barcelona now?
Szczęsny. You just signed a new deal.
Like that. I would take a basic goalie like that over Onana any day of the week. I don't need someone who can pull off a spectacular save and then let 2 crap goals in. Not interested in that. He's had his chance. He's had plenty of time. We've let enough time pass where we've spent the money, and now get rid of him. Get a new goalie. So he needs to
go. How do you get rid of players on such big wages like Rashford and Sancho?
300 buff a week.
Yeah, they're going to have to be creative where they're like offering maybe to contribute part of the wages by getting them on loan for a year, and then with an option to buy. That's what Barcelona were looking at for Rashford. Loan to buy is a good way to do it, because the problem at the moment is their stock is low. Sancho did a half decent job at Chelsea, but if we can get him shipped off to someone like a Dortmund, where we know he's going to probably smash it, then they'll buy him next year, not for what we bought him for, but we'll get a bit more for him. But at the moment, they're not worth much because they've had such crap seasons with Man United. So I think loan to buy is what I would do.
Do you remember when Sancho was the missing link?
Who?
When Sancho was the missing link to you lot winning the league?
Well, the thing is, you can't criticise people saying that, because all these players were. Like, Sancho should have been quality for us. I'm going to eat my words a little bit probably, but the only one I'd like to see explored is Rashford.
What, to keep?
Only one that I would, if I was Amorim, I'd put him into my office, put my arm on his shoulder and say, look, what do you want to give it one more crack? Are you going to take it seriously? Because I do think he's got a good heart, I just think he's been a little bit misled the last few years, got involved in other things, been worrying about relationships and all sorts.
I think he's been let down by United.
Yeah, probably, but give each other one more chance. Stick him up top with Mbuemo and Cunha. That's a pretty devastating front three. That's what I would look at, but that's only if we can't get a top striker. But I think if we do, we'll get top four.
Wow.
United fan saying Calvert-Lewin should be at West Brom. That's a United fan.
He's a good squad player. I'd love him at United, but I wouldn't want to rely on him.
Yeah,
and I think
that's being generous. Man City fans saying that's being generous. I think
Lee, you'd take him at Spurs as a backup striker, wouldn't you, tomorrow?
Who?
Rashford? First team.
Yeah. No. Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Man United fan again. Bruno Cunha and
100%.
won't do it. Ken Dog. That's
That's
United.
a good man. Look, I'm not being funny, but all three of them are proven Premier League quality players. All of them.
I agree with
You
Mo.
haven't got that with Yoker is.
Tory clears an undercover United fan. Why? What have I,
Agree. All United fans and Spurs fans.
No, that's not fair because Lee's been very critical of United.
Yeah,
I agree.
At the end of the day, like when I think if United do the business, I think it's a big. I think I definitely see United top 10. I definitely see that it's a work program. No. But let's not taking the mick. Come on,
How can you even see top 10 though from when they finished? How bad they were.
I just think that he's gonna be able. He's gonna have a full preseason with them. They ain't got no Europe.
True.
38 games.
That's such an insult. You're saying we've got no Europe to concentrate on getting into the top 10 in the Premier League.
That's how bad you are, Ken Dog.
Look at when Liverpool came back up under managers. I think Klopp even, wasn't it? Yeah, they didn't get anywhere, and then they came in the top 4.
We're going to get top 4.
Clearly looks like Mr. Potato Head from Toy Story.
He doesn't.
Mr. Potato Head.
Has Jordan Brown been live on it?
Kendall, after this, you need to do a Mr. Potato Head of Clee in the chat.
No, don't just screenshot him now. You got it.
There we go.
So far, thank you, Mo.
Yeah, but that's not.
City is at the best
window.
window.
Yeah, I was going to say, mate.
Yeah, he got Liverpool more. Agree. Thank you, Jordan. Martinez or Cobell, Tom?
Yeah, I'll take either.
He doesn't care.
Who's Cobell? Who's Cobell? Where's Cobell from?
Don't know.
Where's he from? Nasty work, Lee. Nasty work.
Because I don't know. This is what I'm saying. When I see all these people, because I know Jordan Brown's got a lot of time. He plays FIFA, doesn't he? So he just.
I'll take Carl Marshall in goal at this point. Get Carl in. He'd have a word with that defence.
Mate, he watches this. He's talking about you, mate.
Good, Carl. If you're available, mate, we're looking for a goalie.
He's been talking about you. Yeah, you personally.
Don't shout at me. Don't shout at the defenders like you used to shout at me.
That Ken Dog. He goes, that Ken Dog. He's a little slug.
Man, about me?
About you, mate. About you.
Sorry, Key has no standards. He'll take anyone at his facts. That's
but
facts.
Mo, you'd take a cup as well, bro.
You know, and Spurs fans kissy with each other. Facts. That's what they do, bro.
What was the first thing I said on here?
Bro.
What was the first thing I said on here?
Glock bid rejected. What, for Arsenal, Nick, or for Man United?
He's going.
Liverpool never finished 16th, though. They never dropped.
You telling me there's not? Facts. You telling me there's not precedent that Arsenal could not stump up the cash and this couldn't fall through? You telling me that there's not precedent for that?
Of course there is. But I said that, Ken Dog. I said that earlier in the pod. But I've been here before.
That's why I'm saying, why are we talking about the window when these players have not signed the contract yet? I thought
it was almost near as done, wasn't it?
Well, the personal terms are done. It's now between the clubs.
Yeah.
They'll sort that.
They've verbally agreed, but they've not agreed a transfer fee yet.
Callum Wilson's free. Does anyone want Callum
Wilson? Why are United going for Callum Wilson?
I have no idea.
Wait. No, I don't want Callum Wilson.
What about Spurs?
In Waneri, how you pronounce it, he won't be at Arsenal. He's going.
Going where?
He's leaving. He ain't happy because he's not getting promised first team. Yeah, have you not been reading and listening? He's going.
That's all bollocks, mate.
The Man United absolutely.
He wants promises that he's going to be playing next season.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, Man United's absolute focus remains on Brian Mbeumo, with talk set to continue this week. No agreement with Brentford last week, but United keep working on it, and Brian also keeps giving priority to United. The deal is on from Fabrizio
Good though, Lee,
Romano.
'cause you know what we're not doing now. I don't want to eat my words on this, but we're not just chucking money at it. Just we need to. We're trying to negotiate.
Because you ain't got the money. Because you ain't got the money.
We got money. We got money, boy.
Arsenal got to put 70 million up front and not 65 over installments. So I'll get sorted.
Oh,
United v Spurs bum fight.
Is that Man City?
No, Arsenal.
See.
No, he's not Jordan. Jordan, should we make it? Jordan, do this.
Let's just remind Mo, who's the last team to win a cup in this group? It certainly wasn't United or Arsenal.
That's what I was saying to Mo just now. He's going, we've cried for anything at our Tin Pot Club. I was like, well, we've got a club. We've got a cup.
Yeah, but who's more likely to win more in the next 5 years?
Arsenal, but
I would probably say United out of the three teams.
Nah, Kendall, you ain't doing shit.
Because I think you guys have got one more shot at it this year, and then Tet's going to go, and then there'll be massive instability because you're bringing someone who knows.
Well, he's saying Cesc Fabregas last week. He said they should get rid of Teta now and get Fabregas in.
Chris said that.
Yeah, last week on the pod.
Yeah.
So why do you want Fabregas?
I think his style of football suits Arsenal better. It's the Arsenal way, so to speak.
Who's he been managing? Cesc?
Camo.
Oh.
But it's the way he speaks.
Wow.
It's not. Listen. It's not great. It's no great shakes, but the way he speaks and the way that his ideas fit more in line with Arsenal. Like he's talking about having 4 number 10s. Listen, I might have, but he's talking about having 4 number 10s in midfield, and they're spraying the balls with progression. As where Arteta wants to just hold on to the ball and do this Stoke long ball shit when the chips are down. I don't want to see Arsenal do long ball throws in the semi-finals of the Champions League against PSG. That's fucking embarrassing.
What needs to happen this year then for you to be happy, Chris? What does he need to do? What needs to happen?
Let's go in the league.
League? Or
league, Champions League. No, league or Champions League or
he's got to go, yeah?
If we finish second, do domestic double, I can take that.
No, if Arteta, it depends on how it works out, but I don't.
No, league. If we don't win no trophy, he's got to go.
But then you have to.
What are we letting Orient? Bruv? No, stop all that crap, Lee, man. Stop all that. Kendall, you know, it gets me. These lot make. They say, "Oh, who are you gonna get in?" We lost Arsene Wenger.
Well, look, if you're not winning, you might as well try someone else because you're not winning. Yeah, I agree.
Who's Arteta?
What's the point in just sticking with somebody who's not doing it?
You know what happens when all that happens, yeah? If he's brought all in his players, his style, his way, which he has put an overall stamp on the whole club, that has to be reset again. You go back.
Didn't Klopp just do that? Didn't Klopp just do that?
But they did a search, and I'm not saying Arsenal wouldn't, but if you did a search where you found someone who could come in,
so how do you know we're not? So why are you chatting shit like we're not going to do that, Lee?
I'm not saying you won't, but I'm
saying we're a massive establishment. Why would we do that?
Yeah, but unless he like, because if Klopp came second,
Tom, who's harder to replace?
He didn't retire.
Who's harder to replace, Jurgen Klopp or Mikel Arteta?
Oh well, Klopp, yeah.
So what is this?
So what I'm saying is at the end of the day, if Arteta is still doing a good job and they're not falling away, why is there such a big need to change? Like,
because they've got to win trophies.
Everyone's got to win, though, Tom. Everyone's got to win. But
Liverpool have, Man United have, Man City have, Chelsea have. So everyone is, apart from Arsenal. Spurs are winning trophies, Lee. They are. All those teams win trophies.
Yeah, we have won a trophy, but I get it. But my point is at the end of the day, is that there's only, from where he's come for second 3 times, there's only one more space above it, right? And this year, the last season just gone, yeah, they probably did drop the ball a little bit, as did every other team. It was a poor season, and Liverpool were just consistent where no others were, right? But at the end of the day, like, if he's hanging around that area there and the team's looking good and if there wasn't an improvement in the league this year, there was an improvement in the Champions League. Why is there such a major need to change? We know it doesn't always work that way. It doesn't always. Who thought Slot was going to do what he did, and who thinks he's going to do it this season? Everyone's going, he ain't going to do it.
Being okay is the worst thing. Being good or okay is the worst thing, because if you're crap,
second isn't okay.
If you're crap, you've got to replace. You've got to change it up. You've got to really go.
Second isn't crap. Second isn't crap. Second is okay.
What, every single year it's okay?
No, but
how long do you give him? How long do you do that in 10 years'
Yeah,
time?
but how can you speak with that kind of vim, Ken Dog, when you just finished 15th, though?
We're not talking about whether it's acceptable. We're saying how long do you stick with a manager when you're performing like that? I've said Amorim gets the time because he's come in. I like his approach, but if he does the same next year, absolutely, he's gone.
All right, so what
right?
Progression
every single year.
If Arteta came second again this coming year for 4 in a row, you sack him and you get him Fabregas. Let's just say, and he comes third, right? Well, what do you say? We'll give him another year because
he wins the FA Cup, and he wins the FA Cup and Coca-Cola Cup. Then what?
Well, I don't know. This is what I'm saying. You tell me if that's better than what's happening now. You tell me.
I think Arsenal need someone to take them over the line, and I don't think it's Mikel.
But who is that though, Tom?
Could be Ancelotti. Could be someone.
This is what I'm saying. We're talking about these managers who come in short-term fixes that will want money. Then these managers. The reason Fabregas, the only reason that he's a good name is because he's what has been said. He's a fantastic coach.
If Arsenal were being pipped on the last day of the season, and Arteta was making sound decisions, maybe you'd look at it like that. But
we did though for 2 seasons.
He was there. They were 1-0 up.
All right, but didn't last season.
Well, City was 1-0 down.
And the season before that we did.
And one of the problems, Chris, is that he's refused to buy, and maybe he's going to do it.
No, he has refused to buy a striker, but yeah, he has.
He's made poor signings.
The right striker.
7 goalies in the last
that's bollocks. That's bollocks because Gyökeres is meant to be our second choice. Apparently, apparently Berto wants him and Arteta wants Šeško. So he went for Šeško, couldn't get him because he wants 90 million for him. So we said no. So now we're going for a backup. So why didn't we do this last year? Why didn't we get him when he was at Coventry? When I said that first time round, I said that last year. I said this last year.
Crap at Coventry.
No, it wasn't. It's bad scouting. It's terrible scouting.
But who would have? That's all Arteta's issue. That is Arteta's fault.
That's Arteta's fault. He wants Isak.
He's cringe.
Yeah, he is.
He's absolutely cringe.
He is sometimes.
Okay.
Does he motivate you? Like you've got Klopp, you've got Guardiola, you've got even Amorim. To be fair, like speaks better than Arteta. Arteta is embarrassing.
No, Amorim's embarrassing, bro. Amorim said they're the worst club. It's the worst Man United team in history. That's
yeah, but you knew the context and what he was doing. I think he was right to say that.
I'm not a fan of per se of Arteta, but my point is, at the end of the day, he's not doing bad. He's just like if he would you want 3rd, 4th place, 5th place, and
they've not got to a final. They've not got to a final.
They got to a semi-final of the Champions League.
Yeah, they've not got to a final in like how long? Like he's not got close.
Yeah, he hasn't got close in 5 years. He hasn't got close in 5 years. He's got close once in 5 years.
I think you're far too demanding.
This is top level football.
When you've had to go 20 years without
like you wanted Anish to stay though, bro.
This is top level football, isn't it? He wanted Anish to stay.
Hold on. They went 10 years without nothing and they accepted it, and I know why. Fair enough, right? But then they've gone 20 years without the league and 2nd place 3 times, always developing. If it hasn't been in the league, it's been in the Champions League, and they're saying, "Oh, time's up," as if he's done something wrong.
I don't think anyone say time up. We're saying it this season.
No, they do though. He said time up all the time.
Well, and look, if Arsenal got rid of Arteta, I don't think he's the one. Is he the longest serving coach in the Premier League now? Second,
isn't it? To Pep.
Second longest serving coach. It's not like he ain't had time. He's had plenty of time.
But he's also played against what everyone calls the best team. He's only in his time at being at City, he's come against the Liverpool team that steamrolled it in 2019-20 when he first took over. Then he had 4 years of Man City dominance. The only time they did the Champions League was in the time that Arteta's been there. Man City dominance. People saying the best Premier League team we've ever seen. Right? The best we've ever seen.
Tournaments, Lee?
All right, what? So the FA Cup, he's won that.
5 years ago. That was the last trophy.
He's won it. But he's won it.
5 years ago.
He's won it, bro. In the recent history.
Lee, this is the thing we were talking about the other day, right? I think Arsenal can rightly expect more because they've seen it. They've won Premier Leagues. They got to a Champions League final in Chris's in the last, 10, 15 years ago, was it now? Arsenal should be winning the Premier League.
20 years. 20 years they've got.
20 years, nearly.
All right. 20 years.
Right, so There's adults. There's grown adults now, Tom. That's what I'm saying. It's not
I
like
think Arsenal
you can't be demanding when you haven't seen it.
Their team to be winning trophies, and if you get into that state of mind that he's doing good, how long do you allow that? Because before you know it, 20 years down the line, Chris has got grandkids coming and they ain't won anything.
All right, so look, I'll put it.
That's funny you should say that because you haven't won the league since 2012, isn't it?
Exactly, not acceptable. Poor. We don't accept that. We don't go. And managers have come and gone, arguably too.
Yeah, but your team, Man United's in a very bad place, Tom. United's in an awful place.
He talks about Arsenal in that place.
I tell you why. Because what they did was once Fergie went, they didn't know how to deal with on-field stuff. They've done amazing work in the commercial side of the club, right? But then if your leveling at the top of the Premier League isn't matching what you're doing commercially, all of a sudden they start to balance out. Now there's leaks in the roof. Now there's less money to spend. Now people don't exactly want to come to Man United. And I'm not saying that that's going to be a long-term thing. It will get better. I'm sure it will get better. But what I'm saying is at the end of the day, like, are you happy? Do you want to just pick up FA Cups and League Cups? If you do, fine.
That's my point. That's my argument. Is you can't, if you become a club, like Arsenal become a club that accepts...
No. He said Man United, Ken Doug.
Right, so let's talk about Man United. Man United will never be a club that accepts just winning trophies like FA Cups and Carling Cups.
Right, but then what they've had to do, they've gone down a route where they went, right, who's the best manager right now? Oh, it's Louis van Gaal. We'll get him. Who's the best manager right now? Oh, we'll get
Jose.
We'll get Jose Mourinho. Then it was like, we've got to bring the good time factor. We didn't know what to do with Ollie. But who's the next best manager now?
Van Gaal won an FA Cup. Mourinho won a cup. They won trophies.
Yeah.
So why did you have to sack him?
That's what I'm saying.
Because they weren't good enough trophies, but they won trophies. They've done more.
Why did you have to sack him?
Because they weren't good enough in the Premier League.
There can only be one, though, Ken Dog. There can only be one winner of the Premier League, one winner of the Champions League.
Yeah, but we weren't even close.
Very hard. Right.
We weren't even close.
Bro, because the cycle changed. But instead of going, all right, should we see it out with David Moyes, which probably wasn't the right thing anyway, you went and got the manager after manager and thought, is that going to work? And you threw money at it. And it
Tell him again, Lee.
And that's what I'm saying. When that goes wrong, bro,
we won more trophies than both your teams.
You come 15th. And that's what I'm saying to
Chris. We've won more than you guys in the last 5 years. We've won more than both your teams.
100%, bro. I'm not against any of what you're saying. But like you've seen it all. You've seen it all. And you're not there. You know
what's the main competition? What's the main competition?
Premier League.
Yeah, but that's why we're not sticking with these guys, because we haven't found the formula yet. We haven't fixed the problem, clearly.
But what is...
I'm just saying...
Let me ask you then. How do you get to a formula, Tom? How do you get to a formula to go back to where you are? And I'll tell you
I'd be running the club. They don't know the answers.
I personally tell you what you think. One, you have a fantastic board who understand how to put money into a club and good scouting first, right? So that's not easy, but that's the first thing you do. Then you bring in a manager and you totally get behind his ideals and the players that he wants, and you stick with it. You don't just jump at every point.
So like Eddie Howe, like Newcastle?
Yeah. In some ways, yeah. But
cool. So how long should Newcastle accept not winning big trophies for?
Fucking 10 years. They've not won for 80 years.
10 years.
The League Cup.
So you think 10 years time, Newcastle, with all that money, will accept not winning big trophies?
Right, well, we haven't seen them spend tons yet because they haven't been able to. If they start spending that, then they've got a gripe if they don't win it. Because money should, if you spend loads, it's obviously going to help you in some ways get to that upper echelons, and then it's down to, is he the right man for it?
A lot of money.
Very impressively.
I know, but I know how Tottenham spend their money and what they do with how they spend their money, and that's why I've always had the gripe with that. I'm not saying Man United are doing anything wrong. What they're trying to do with Amorim now is understand that they want to keep him and therefore make a journey, get the right players in.
Not the right man.
Not the marquee. It was always the marquee. It was Angel Di Maria. It was Zlatan Ibrahimovic. It was always a marquee.
Ronaldo, Lukaku,
always that.
Pogba,
and that's
Sanchez,
why I feel confident
Maguire.
about what they're doing now. The kind of players they're bringing in, it's good.
But if this season he comes 10th, next year he comes 7th, next year he comes 4th, 3rd, don't get rid of the guy.
I will accept progression as long as it's not minuscule. If there's consistent progression, But there comes a point in the next 2 or 3 years. I don't buy this whole 5-10 years crap. In the next 2 or 3 years,
because
we need
then
to
you've got to have
challenge
deep pockets.
Premier League.
You've got to have deep pockets, very deep pockets. You've got to have money for it.
We've seen it time and time again with teams that actually 2 or 3 signings make all the difference. We've not got a bad squad. No, we've not got a bad squad. We haven't got a bad first team, but we're definitely missing 2 or 3 players and a unique style of play that players know what they're doing. Like this is not a bad. You don't get to the Europa League final. I'd say the same about Spurs.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Spurs,
yes, you do.
Chris,
the quality
Chris,
that was out there. The quality that was out there.
Right. Let me just finish my point. Spurs and Man United, you don't get to Europa League final having a bad squad. What Spurs lacked was a manager who had the ability to get the best out of those players. And they had a lot of injuries, a combination of the two. The Spurs, you can't say someone's a bad club when they've gone and won the Europa League. You can't.
You can. When you lose 22 league games, you can. And
to win those games,
that's a different story.
It just shows you how powerful the Premier League is in comparison to the other leagues. Because when our 17th and 15th place can make the finals of a so-called prestigious trophy, that just
where did they come the year before, Chris, in the Premier League? Where did they come, Spurs?
Fifth.
How do you go from 5th to, is it 17th?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, Forest went from 17th to 7th.
Right, getting better, right? But how do you go from being 5th to 17th in 1 year? How does that happen?
Exactly.
The manager got found out.
So have they gone from being good to bad overnight in a year?
No, it was over a year. It was over a period of time.
The manager.
The manager was shut over a period of time.
Right. That's my point was. The manager is what cost
end of last season, not season just gone. The end of the season before that, Clee will tell you that they played Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, whoever. Yeah, in the last 7 games they lost 5, and they continued that form on into the next season. So
he wasn't the right man.
He wasn't.
Fair enough. He weren't. He was good at short-term competition. He got that with the Europa. Yeah, he leaves.
He was lucky. He was lucky. The competition was so poor.
All right. Well, he still had. You can only beat who's in front of you in a competition.
If Man United were doing well in the league, if Man United were finishing 5th last season, and you played them, and you was in, they would have battered you.
But we come 5th last year and we beat them.
No, I'm saying season just gone. This season just gone. Where they finished 15th. If Man United were 5th,
we don't want to detract from where we were. Let's not go around. My point is, I personally think in a league such as the Premier League, unless you are the biggest spenders year in, year out, have you got money at January and whatnot, and you've got the wages first and foremost, and there's only really one team at the moment that can really do that, and that is Manchester City. But anybody else, you are fighting to beat them, and you can beat them. I'm not saying you can't, but I don't think you can beat them if there is a constant chop and change, because what happens is that the board gets so worried, they bring in the biggest name that is currently out there, and when they do that, that manager comes in, and he comes in with a remit of like, I want to win. He's not worried about what I think Arteta will be doing, finding out how the under-15s are doing. Amorim, I think, will be doing the same. How's the under-18s? How's the under-21s? What am I seeing here? Who can I get in to come and train here? He's not thinking about that. Jose Mourinho didn't do that. He didn't do it at fucking Tottenham. He wouldn't do it anywhere, right? These managers will just be about, I want to win now. This is the money I need. They'll buy. They may win. It may not be the top one, but they'll win something, or they get close. They fuck off. They go to their next job, do the same thing, and then boom, they're gone. There isn't these like when you've got a good manager like you both have. I do believe in Emery. You keep them and you go on the journey. You don't fuck around.
But how long? Because I think you either have a manager who's got a proven record, so you've got to say, look, we've got the best manager in the Premier League, therefore we've got the best chance. We've got a Klopp, we've got Guardiola, we can win the league. Or you bring in someone like let's say Thomas Frank and Amorim, who's a little bit unproven but could be incredible, maybe. Arteta's somewhere in the middle of that. He's had his chance. He hasn't done it. I don't think he's in the same league as Klopp or Guardiola.
He's not.
I don't think he is.
Maybe not.
So either go and try and get someone who's got a record of winning.
No, he's got one more. He's got another season.
One more season. I agree.
Before we go, who's going to finish higher, Spurs or United?
United.
I'd probably say United. I think we're going to be probably. I think we're going to be a respectable mid-table team. Yeah, I won't argue with that. I think
Where
they've got
Spurs
less
finish in
games
league? Where Spurs going to finish?
between 8th and 10th. And I think
Kendall,
United 7th or 6th.
I think Tottenham will get top 17. Definitely. I'm going to say, can I put a caveat on it? If we get a striker, if we get a decent striker, top 4.
If my uncle ball should be me, auntie.
If we get, all right, let me give you this. I'll give you 2 answers. If we get a decent goalie, decent striker, and then Buemo comes in, those ones that I've said on that sheet, guys, thank Chris, move your head. That sheet, other than what your care is, that's top 4.
No.
Elite.
No, actually, he's not wrong. They've got 38 games, man. They've got 38 games.
Yeah, it's true.
I cannot stress how much having no Europe helps you. Like, you know, that was the bit, and I do understand that Ange struggled in the second year because he played the Europa League and he played all the cups all the way through.
Here we go.
One in the League Cup. We played 41 games in his first season.
Finally.
Didn't he used to manage in the J League?
Yeah, he did. He also won. He also managed in Europe. He's a European champion. We got a chat, bro. All the managers we've had, and he was the one that won it. I'm never going to.
Because it was the pisses of competitions. Anyway, I'm gone.
Right. Great pod.
Love,
boys. See you next week.
Love.
Bye.